How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Creators Process. As you know, my name is Jaden, and right next to me I have Rosie. How are we doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
That's good, and I'm going well, thank you.
Good.
And first of all, I want to say, well, a couple of thank yous. A thank you to a fantastic shoot we just finished up with. It was my absolute honor and pleasure to photograph you, so thank you for taking the time for that.
Thank you. It was so great to work with you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that as well, and I'm really honoured that I got the opportunity to. And also I feel honoured that I've got to interview you today as well for the Creators Process, so thank you for taking the time to do that as well.
Thanks for asking me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, it's my pleasure. And so for everyone at home watching, tell us, what do you do when it comes to the creative arts?
So, and I've mentioned this to you before as well, like I'm in my mid-30s with ADHD and autism, and so my process for anything is really not a process. I tend to be very sort of, will like jump from one thing to another, and the way that I like develop an act or an idea is usually something will strike me and then I'll just become obsessive about it until I complete it. So often it's like a piece of music will like it will get like an earworm and I'll just listen to it over and over and over and over, and if I can listen to it 50 times and not get sick of it and still have a good idea rolling around in my head, then I'll start putting together the other things. But it usually starts with a piece of music. For my first solo routine, I had a different idea entirely, and I was really like struggling to make it make sense to me, and I didn't really feel passionate about it. And then I heard the song that I ended up using, and I listened to the song twice and then immediately wrote out all the choreography and had all my idea together. And
wow.
So it's like, I don't think I could do a project that would take years to put together because it's just not how my brain works.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, everyone works differently, and you know, I think getting the idea, like, as you know, I've interviewed quite a few burlesque performers such as yourself, and you know, like getting to understand how someone works with their process and all that sort of thing. Everyone works differently, and you know, as you were saying, like, especially with a song, like if you can listen to it like over 100 times, 200 times, then you know, maybe that might actually be a good song to work with. You know, and
you don't want to become to hate it when you have to perform to it all the time. Like, you gotta still like it.
Absolutely, you gotta like it next week or the week after, you know, and all that, because you know, there are definitely songs, and I've had songs out there where I've listened to it over and over, you know, and I've just gone, I definitely think I can do without listening to that for a long time, because it's just like, you just get to a point where you're just like, no, I can't listen to it anymore. So that probably does help with your burlesque performances, that you want to work with songs that you actually enjoy listening to.
Exactly,
And so how long have you been doing burlesque performing for?
So I debuted my first solo routine last year, between COVID lockdowns, but I've been a student, like a burlesque student, for, I think it started January 2019, so like a couple of years doing classes and many group routines and different styles. So yeah, just 3 or 4 years, but a bit less than 6 months as a solo performer.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you're excited to finally explore into that area of solo performing. I bet that would be quite exciting.
I was so nervous about it at first because I was like, there's nowhere to hide when you're on your own. Like, everyone's going to be looking at you. They're not going to look at the other 10 people on stage with you. And then I realized that it means if you make a mistake, nobody knows. Because there's no one to compare it to. So there are no mistakes. It's just the magic of live performance, and nothing's ever going to be the same twice, and I really enjoy that too. And
you know, like at the end of the day, as you said, like, you know, not every act is going to be exactly lined up the same way. You know, sometimes we do have those moments where like, I was meant to do it this way, but it's like, okay, I need to keep going with the performance, and then at the end of the day, the audience is not going to know. Or sometimes you get stuck in your closet and you have to do your whole routine fully dressed, and that's okay because there's nothing you can do. Exactly.
It's the magic of show business.
Amazing. And I guess, you know, so you said you started 2019 burlesque performing. What was I guess, the thing that attracted you to wanting to do burlesque in the first place?
So I live in Melbourne now, but I am originally from Brisbane, and most of my friends were like burlesque students or burlesque performers, and so I worked like adjacent to the industry for a long time. So I've done a lot of stage managing and a lot of like co-producing and promoting events and coming up with ideas, putting together show runs. And so I just had for like 3 years before I started dancing myself, had always worked like alongside it. Okay. My friends were all performers. I dated a performer for a while. So it was always just a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And then, like, as is life when you're disabled and chronically ill, I got sick. And after I started to get better, I thought, I really have no reason to not start dancing. I wanted to do it, but I always thought, oh, you know, maybe later, maybe another time. And then I got sick, and when I got better, I was like, later is now. And so it's just having worked with performers for a long time, I was like, now it's my turn.
Amazing. I love that. And I think it's also like, I love that attitude of going like, you know, how you said that, you know, for a while you'd like, because I've had that same attitude going, all right, I'm going to do it later, I'm going to do it tomorrow. But then suddenly you had this, like, you know, you had what happened to you, and I'm really sorry that you went through that.
Oh, no, it's okay.
But then you just were like, as soon as you got better, and you're like, you know what, tomorrow's today, I'm doing it right now. Because, you know, that's the thing, like, with any opportunities that we do, like, I mean, to be honest, this whole YouTube series was like, for me, was kind of like that thing of, maybe I can start it tomorrow. And then I was like, no, you know what? I'm starting it right now. You know, and I literally got my camera out, went to the first guest, and I was like, this is happening right now. And, you know, sometimes we just got to take that risk. We got to take that chance and go, you know what? It might not work, but at the end of the day, at least I can say I try. And, you know, look at where you are now. And it's like, it paid off at the end of the day. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very much of the attitude that you just got to reach out and grab something. And my mentor that I work with when I'm developing acts, Bella DeJacque, she said to me once in one of our sessions where I was freaking out about things not being finished or not being perfect, and gave me this advice that said, it's okay to be a work in progress. And so it's like, I remind myself of that every day. Everything's a work in progress. If you wait for something to be the right time to finish it, or for something to be complete or perfect, you'll never do anything. So that's how I feel about my journey as a performer. It's like, I'm a work in progress, and that's just has made me want to take more risks.
I like that, and that's I 100% agree with you. Like, I just think with myself, I don't want to stop learning anytime soon, because I feel like once you stop learning and once you reach that, then what do you do after that? It's like, you know, I like
keep learning.
Exactly. You know, exactly that. And it's like, as a photographer, like, I look back at works I did when I was like 19, 20, and I just go, like, at the time I thought these were the most amazing photos, and I just think to myself, oh, Jaden, you are so naive at this young age.
Look at you, so young.
You know, so like, I think the fact that you can, I've said this to so many people, you can look back at what you did before and go, geez, I really didn't know. Like, I thought that was a good, like, this was a good photo, and then I look at what I've created now, I'm like, gosh, I did not.
I've learned so much.
Yeah, you know, and it's probably the same with you. It, like, as what did you say? You mentioned your name, Bella?
Bella DeJacque,
Bella DeJacque. I'm like saying that, you know, you're always working. You're always in the working process of creating a better and even better acts. Like, even when I used better twice, that was creating something where, like, one time you go, okay, this is actually really good. But then later on, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is actually even better. And then maybe even later on, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I did not know that this was actually going to be a better idea than the one I did at the start. You know, like, it's always a working progress of creating something beautiful.
And another piece of advice that they gave me as part of that is that the creative process can't even begin to be finished until you've shown it to someone, as far as performing goes. So it's like, I can rehearse a routine 5,000 times at home, but it will never even begin to be complete until it's been on a stage and an audience has seen it. Because what works okay when you film it at home may not necessarily work in front of an audience.
Absolutely.
And that has happened to me even in the times that I've performed where I'm like, oh, this thing that I choreographed at the very start, trashing that, it just doesn't happen, or it doesn't fit the way I thought it was going to, and like what I thought was 3 steps, it's actually going to take me 5 steps to fill the space emotionally. So and that's when my creative process starts to like really, you know, it's just a sketch until then.
Exactly.
You know?
So kind of like you need to make sure that you're always adapting to obviously like, you know, performance spaces, because not same way, like some spaces are going to be massive where you're going to have all this room, but then sometimes it's going to be a very small space where you're like, okay, I'm going to have to rethink my steps of like, all right, how am I going to do this shot? So, you know, you always
your stage might be this size at this table, and
then you go, oh, okay, I'm not going to be able to do this. I have to figure out something else.
Exactly.
I love that. And I guess if you don't mind, I'll ask you this, like, because I know that we were talking before that, you know, people know you as the girl that likes pink, you know, and maybe like, because I know that like we were talking about that beforehand, so do you want to, I guess, explain like, so the meaning like behind the costume with all the pink and all that sort of thing, like what does the color pink mean to you?
So I think that growing up as like a young woman and then a young gay woman, it's really difficult to, and also like my 9 to 5 is like super corporate, high stakes, high stress work. So it's like as a young woman, you feel like you need to, and this is my personal experience, you need to perform a certain performance of gender or expectation of how someone should look or behave. And so it's difficult sometimes to, as a young gay woman in a corporate environment, to feel like it's okay to be really feminine, because the way that society is geared towards patriarchal norms is you have to be a hard ass, or you have to be kind of masculine, especially if you're gay. It's like it's hard to be taken seriously in the queer community if you're super femme or super femme presenting, because then sometimes people might think that you don't belong there. So for a long time I avoided things that were pink or sparkly or frilly or something, because I was like, well, no one will take me seriously if I'm really girly or if I like pink. And then I realized, oh, it actually doesn't matter, because you can look however you want and be whoever you want, and people will take you seriously if you tell them to. And so that's what I do. I make people take me seriously by the way that I talk, the work that I do, the way that I engage with people that I work with and my chosen family. And then I was like, well, now I'm going to be hyper femme. So everything pink all the time, super girly. And it's like I was saying, pink to me is a personality choice and a frame of mind. And my actual favorite color is grey, which is not at all like super femme, but you know, I mean, I'm heavily tattooed and I have bright pink hair and these pink eyebrows I wear every single day. And I will walk into super corporate meetings and demand the same level of respect as everyone else, because this doesn't matter. And so I really am like aggressively feminine for that reason.
I love it. Like I really think, as you said, you were trying to in a way break that, I guess, that stereotype of going that, you know, just because I dress like this or because I look like this doesn't mean that you should not take me as serious as you would any other person that dresses a different way. You know, you should just, you know, treat everyone the way that, you know, in a way, at the end of the day, that's the way I always say, treat everyone the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
You know, and not actually judge by what they look like.
Exactly.
You know?
And my routine where my costume is all shades of pink. And the song is a very, very, very thinly veiled vagina metaphor. It's about vaginas. And like as a gay woman, it's on my list of things that I enjoy. So it's like, you know, the fact that the routine is kind of like very showgirl looking, like it's sparkly and pink and like super feminine, but it's dirty, it's sleazy, and it's a vagina joke. And
I love it. And it's an incredible performance. Like I only just saw it was it a couple of weeks ago now? Like, I think it was...
Last week?
Yeah.
Like, no, the week before?
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago where I saw it and it was a beautiful performance. I absolutely loved it.
Thanks.
And I didn't actually realise, you might have to send me the song again so I can re-listen to it, because I did not realise that was actually, the song was a metaphor as well for that. So I'm going to have to re-listen to it.
The song's all about like... like pink being the favourite thing and pink meaning vagina. Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna have to send it through to me again so I can listen to it.
Yeah, it's really sleazy. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'll have to definitely look into that. And I guess, as a final question for the interview, like what is so you've been working on this performance, like, and what is the performance called? It's called
Just Pink.
Yeah, Just Pink.
Yeah.
And like, what are some of the future plans you have for when it comes to performing or anything like that? What do you have planned?
I've got a few bits and pieces in the works. I've got, I'm working with another performer friend of mine who we're just in the very beginning stages of coming together to make like a cute 60s French pop go-go girl type routine.
Amazing.
So that'll be fun. Have written down all this choreography for this like really dramatic silk fans routine, because I've been learning silk fans for a couple of years, and that one's going to be sort of a little bit more darker in theme, but not necessarily in like costume. And I've got a couple of other fun pieces as well, and a tribute to one of the Golden Age burlesque performers that she was known for a particular gimmick that she does, and I'm hoping to be able to recreate that. So
amazing. Wow, you've got I'm very excited for you.
All these ideas are like 30% because I have ADHD and I can't commit to any one thing, so they're all going at once.
Yeah. That's
we'll see which one wins.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see, like, there's some really amazing project ideas that you have coming up, and I'm really excited to see you perform again. You'll have to definitely let me know when you're at one of the next performance venues again, because I'm definitely going to be there in the audience cheering you on as always.
Yeah.
And
that'll be good.
Oh, absolutely. And so I think want to say again, thank you once again for a fantastic shoot and for taking the time to come onto the channel and just have a great open conversation about what you do creatively, and just I really do appreciate you taking the time for that.
Thank you. I was really flattered to be asked, so I'm glad I got to do this shoot with you. I'm really excited to see how it all turns out.
Oh, absolutely.
And tell my story.
Yeah, absolutely. And so thank you for sharing it with us, and sharing it with myself and the people watching. And so thank you for that.
Thanks.
That's all good. And so for everyone watching at home, I want to say a huge thank you for tuning into another episode of The Creators Process. If you want to check out Rosie's amazing work, I'll leave links to everything down below. If she's performing in your area, please go and see her. As I was saying before, you will not regret seeing one of her performances. Absolutely fantastic, absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, absolutely incredible performer. Photographers, if you are looking for amazing burlesque performers to photograph, definitely, she has my thumbs up guarantee. Like, absolutely amazing to work with.
Thanks for making you feel less like an awkward noodle, which is what I feel like I actually am in person.
No, you're not. You were absolutely amazing to work with. I feel very honoured that I got this chance. And so every time, like I say in every episode, keep supporting the local community, guys. Let's keep seeing performances. Let's keep supporting photographers, models, buy merchandise, buy prints. Just let's keep supporting our amazing community, because we do have a pretty amazing community at the end.
Support your local strippers, club strippers, cabaret strippers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.